Welcome to Civilian Protection module. My name is Professor Rachel Julian and I'm a Professor in Peace Studies, and my research is all around the way in which we protect civilians from violence. In this quick welcome, I'm going to tell you a bit about who I am. You're going to start thinking about who you are and what we're going to study. We're going to talk about how you're assessed and how this module will work. So you have started thinking about what is protection. So my name is Professor Rachel Julian. I have been working in the field of unarmed civilian protection. So the way in which communities protect themselves, the way that we enable international protection without using weapons or threat of force. It's predominantly NGOs, it's all civilians, and in this module we're going to look at the way in which I think about protection, which is protection, civilian protection, the way we protect civilians from armed violence and armed conflict, and it's a contested area of study. So we'll be viewing it from different disciplines and thinking about how that affects the way we're going to learn how and why and who protects civilians. So you need to do a little bit of thinking as well. So you're starting this module now, and I'd like you to have a reflective and curious approach to this module. So when we think about civilian protection, what images come to your mind? Or I want you to think about, what does protection mean to you? If you talk about sort of like you being protected or you protecting other people, what does that mean? How does it relate to your interests and experience? That may be in the community where you live, it may be somewhere where you've travelled, somehow within your life experience. How does this idea about protection link to your ideas? And then I want you to think a little bit about which civilians, or why are we talking about civilian protection, and why is that a particular aspect of what we're talking about? I want you to think about, where do you imagine these people are? Who is it we're talking about? What is it about them, which is why we need to protect them? So I want you to make some notes and think about that. There's going to be an opportunity for you to introduce yourself and share your ideas about civilian protection to the other people studying this module. So have a think, make some notes, and look at the resources in this module to start thinking about and challenging your ideas. So in this module, we've got 4 learning outcomes. We're going to be looking at the range and impact of mechanisms through which civilians are protected, and we're going to look at that. There's going to be aspects of international law and aspects of the international actors who we'll be studying. We are going to critically evaluate the contested data. I talked about protection being a contested concept, so there's different views of what that means. There's different definitions. And we're going to be trying to analyse this within relation, what's effective about protecting civilians, and then we're going to be doing that within the context of peace and conflict theory, as well as human rights and international law. We're going to be critically analysing the strategies and tools, so the practice by which civilians take action to protect one another, and the ways in which they prevent violence in local, national and international situations, so the agency of civilians. And then finally, we're going to apply your theoretical understanding, all this material that you're going to learn, to practice, to case studies and current issues, and you're going to be looking at how this fits in with the practice and the evidence from different actors.
You might want to know how you're going to be assessed on this module. Well, your first assessment, about halfway through, is going to be an individual presentation, and you'll submit a handout where you'll talk about the key issues and challenges in civilian protection, and we'll cover those over the first few weeks, so you'll have plenty of time to practice. Your second assessment is it's a comparative case study. It's written and you do it right towards the end, and you're going to be thinking about the issues about effectiveness of civilian protection. So you'll be looking at drawing on the different ways we're going to approach, different methods, different approaches, and think about that. So between the presentation and the comparative case study, you should have a chance to use the module materials and the reading and really be able to delve into this subject at level 4 this. Very good. So the next thing is...
So how's the module going to work? Every week on my Beckett there's a folder, and in that folder is a video lecture, activities to do, reading, and you do all of that in preparation for the weekly tutorial. And you can contact me by email, or you can arrange a meeting on MS Teams to talk to me about the module. So what next for you? I want you to think about how you're going to organise the weekly tasks. The first one being for you to do some reflection on your own ideas about protection this week. Watch the first videos, make notes, be ready to discuss in the tutorials. The more you participate, the more learning there is as you share your experiences with others. And contact me if you have any questions. Goodbye.